What's up, dude? How the hell are you? Hope you're doing amazing. What would you bring? You got 6 things. I asked this to the group. The High Thumos group, I asked it. I said, you listen, a nuke goes off. You're in apocalypto mode. What? You got 6 items. What are you going to bring? And I want to know what you're going to bring down below. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt and say that I'm going to provide 8 cups of water for you. So you don't really got to worry too much about water, but if you want some, extra, then you do got to worry about it. So include that. For me, I'm going to bring probably cigars, but honestly, I don't know I'm going to bring a source of nicotine. Cigar, snus, pouches, something of that nature. Coffee too, you're going to want to be hunting out there. You're going to want to be sharp, and other people are trying to kill you, so you got to be sharp. You got to have a little bit of coffee, maybe some instant coffee just for the ease. So coffee, nicotine, that's 2. I'm definitely bringing beef. I'm definitely bringing sardines for those omegas. You gotta get oranges or something for the scurvy. You can't let the scurvy get to you, dude. Imagine you die from scurvy in the 21st century. Pirate's life. So that is, what is that, 5 things? What else? Potatoes. I mean, potatoes, you can live off potatoes, right? But I don't know if I said eggs. I think eggs. Anyway, that's mine. Put your list down below. Dude, just imagine if we had to live like that. God bless us. We live in a great time. I had this thought the other day that when you get a bit of success, you almost need to make sure that you don't try to get stressed out. I know a lot of people that are well-to-do, and they got all this unneeded stress. They're worried about politics, their family drama, bullshit. Once you have food and shelter, and maybe some love, what do you got to worry about? Other than, continuing that process, maintaining. So I don't know what everyone's fucking worried about. I don't know what everyone's stressed about. It's not good, dude. It's not good because listen, when you're broke, yeah, you got to kind of stress. You got to worry. How am I going to pay the rent? I get it. I've been there. It's tough. It's like fight or flight. It's kind of motivating in a way. You feel really alive when you don't have that pressure of just maintaining existence. You get a lot of other bullshit. Worried about family drama, worried about politics, worried about stupid stuff. Can't even think of anything. So it seems like people might just get bored. Success breeds its own kind of set of problems. And I came across this quote, a very, very sagacious quote by William Blake. And he said, man's desires are limited by his perceptions. None can desire what he has not perceived. Think about that. You can't desire what you can't perceive. Well, what does that freaking mean, dude? There was a time where I didn't know that I enjoyed very spicy food, until I had Indian food. And now when I go to an Indian restaurant, I say, give me a number 10. And for some reason, these guys never make it spicy enough. They think look at this white boy, he's not going to be able to handle the spice. Bullshit, dude. I handle spice better than some of these Indian guys that have been drinking spicy breast milk from a young age. I'm telling you, my spice tolerance is just, I can hold my own when it comes to spice. In our group, I had a habanero. I didn't even flinch. Okay, spice tolerance of a god. So I love spice, but I didn't realize I liked it because I grew up in an American household where my mom never really used spice. So, but I'm a spice king. I didn't know I liked spice until my perception shifted. Until I was able to realize from a different vantage point. I was able to perceive. That may sound silly, that may sound stupid, but how much of life is like that? You gain a new vantage point. You climb the precipice of your life struggles. You're able to perceive new. Maybe you get a raise. Maybe you get a new position, a job. Maybe you get a new job. Maybe you get a different girlfriend. Maybe you get an injury. That's also, you can go within the depths. Life can kind of shake things up, make you see things from a new point of reference, new point of view. It's just incredible to think of that you must elevate yourself to a position, to ascend to a position where you can begin to see what is important and what matters. It's like that one picture, you guys have probably seen this on the internet, of the guy standing on books and he's looking over the wall and he sees a hellscape, and the guy that's standing on nothing just sees a wall in front of him, herpty-derp, kind of the Matrix. So sometimes you see too much, but there's a something to be said about men, especially you and me, the generation we're in, not from going from this place of barely any internet to now bombarded by so much bullshit, dude. I used to have to work for some titties. I had to work for some titties, man. Me and my friend, I remember being young, probably when did I first jerk off? Probably 11, 10, maybe a little later. I was a good Christian boy, very good. But anyway, I remember we had to go out there and I lived in a pretty ghetto area, very poor. There was a lot of hobos. Hobos love to jerk off. We would stumble upon Playboys. We would stumble upon Hustler mags. Hustler mags were very naughty. And that was the first time I saw a nice set of titties. You had to work for this. You really had to go out hunting. Hoping you stumbled upon some homeless guy's fortress and seeing his little Playboy magazine covered, under the sleeping bag with dirt, and you catch a glimpse of some tits. So as a kid, everything was new, everything was novel, you were discovering. You get older, shit gets boring. Dude, I remember when I first fell in love. It was in the same field that I discovered the hobo's fortress. He was tucked behind this wall, and I knew that porno mag was there, dude. And I used to kind of visit it every couple weeks just to refresh. But during this time, I remember my first love. Her name was Tanya. Oh man, Tanya. Heavenly blessed beauty. I love Tanya. And she came over, she was my neighbor's cousin. She came over, I met her. And for some reason, me and Tanya started hanging out, clicking. In the field next to my house, there was the field was like this, and there was a hole. The field had a dimple, right? Like a 2-foot dimple. And we were trying to go on a sort of teenager date. So me and this girl just sat in the hole, like a sofa. And I held her. We were sitting in the grass in this hole, sort of encased in this little hole, this little cocoon. And I'm holding her and she's resting on me. And dude, I felt love. Oh my God, I felt like I was falling in love. What a good feeling. I was elevated. I had ascended past this boyhood state, obsessed with my little Game Boy Advance, obsessed with my toys and all this other, childish things. Dude, I was into girls now. And this is my first taste. And I was just dreaming about this girl. I only saw Tanya twice. Then, my girl Tanya she up and left, dude. She went to North Carolina. No contact. She left my ass. I didn't talk to her ever again. But I still have those memories. I remember climbing trees. We had this massive oak tree. and you would just ascend to the very peak of this thing, like 50 feet up in the air. I don't know how I didn't get paralyzed. I fell out one time, but it was at the base. Got some scrapes, but I wasn't paralyzed. I don't know how we kept doing this shit, dude. Where, you know, you never see kids climbing trees these days. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. There was this idiot climbing the baseball fence next door recently, and I was like, dude, he should probably get down from there. But I'm like, this is a kid, man. I used to do that shit. Let him do his thing, you know. That vantage point, that desire for height. Blessed is the mind too small for doubt. That is great. Blessed is the mind too small for doubt, dude. You didn't realize I could die. I could break my freaking neck. You had courage. You had bravado. You had vril. You had thumos as a kid. I think more than ever, kind of what I wanted to make this video about before we had the old, you know, run around, is just the importance of getting a new perspective. Seriously, getting a new perspective. And seeing what really is important. Because I think the modern world, it doesn't care if you ascend. It doesn't care if you obtain new knowledge, if you figure out what's best in your life. It doesn't care about that, man. If anything, the way it's set up is to keep you as a working drone, an NPC, as you've heard people call it. It doesn't want you to have discussion and sort of bump heads with other men. You can even see this in 90s movies. There's Ben Affleck's brother, I forgot his, Casey Affleck, is in this one movie I watched recently. It's like a 90s film, maybe early 2000s. And the contrast to him speaking with some of those other thugs in the movie, like he's like, you bastard, get the fuck away from me, you son of a bitch. I'm like, dude, these guys are just getting into it, not afraid of confrontation, and they're working their shit out. You skip ahead to past 2010, but 2012, everything changed. Everything changed. Something happened, man. Something happened. Wasn't it Obama? 2012? Something happened. Something really happened. The internet got too good. The people started talking. The minority started speaking up and getting a voice. And then everything started to change and become a little more politically correct. Everyone didn't want to offend anyone. You didn't want to be offended. And then the offended became the loud ones and the loudest to speak up and say, you offended me. The movies started to change, the programming. So the people's minds began to lose this sort of audacity for confrontation, this natural inclination to get into it, to bump heads, to rub knuckles, to grease hands. You know, it was like these guys these days, we don't get into it much. I actually had to break my programming. This is a huge thing I learned. I was raised a Christian. Christian, you turn the other cheek. You show everyone love and kindness. But I realized even Jesus wasn't that meek. Even Jesus, as an example that you follow, was not that weak. He was flipping tables when those Pharisees, the Jews, were like selling in the temple. He was like, get the fuck out of here, man. What the hell are you guys doing in here? This is the house of the Lord. What are you doing in here, man? Like, no, dude, imagine this guy leading 12 disciples. Do you think they never butt heads? Oh, you guys are all, oh no, John, listen, you want to go and put Peter in a chokehold? Okay, go do it. Go ahead and fight, dude. You know that was the original Fight Club. Jesus and the 12 disciples with Judas over there in the corner jerking off. No, you know, you think shit wasn't going down when you unite, man. So that's what I'm saying. It's like, what are we? No wonder there's so much confusion, because the message has made everyone afraid of confrontation. I'm not saying you got to be always confrontational, but you should be okay with, you know, telling people no, asserting yourself, getting into a little bit. Not everyone that is a little bit aggressive is a toxic masculine, you know, man. So what I'm really getting at is that the message perpetuated, like I said in the previous videos, the walls are closing in. They limit your perception. They limit what you're allowed to see. But as William Blake said, man's desires are limited by his perceptions. You cannot know, you cannot desire what you have not perceived. Dude, mind blown, man, mind blown. There's a good old fable, Jack and the Giant Beanstalk. I love that fable. That fable stuck with me more than any other of those. Hansel and Gretel, Humpty Dumpty, whatever. Little Red Riding Hood. Dude, Jack and the Giant Beanstalk spoke to me because I resonated with that. This guy gets beans. He gets beans from an old hag. Magic beans. She's like, listen, you trade me your cow, I'll give you some beans. He's like, fuck, all right, that sounds pretty good. Magic beans? Sounds pretty good. Goes to sleep at night, throws them, and they are in his yard. They take shape. He wakes up, there's a giant beanstalk going towards the heavens, just. And he's looking up at that thing, dude. What kid wouldn't want to climb that? What lies within the clouds? All right? The desire to ascend, dude, to gain a new perspective. He climbs the beanstalk. What does he see? He sees a golden goose. And in the actual tale of Jack and the Giant Beanstalk, this guy is like climbing that shit multiple times. He's addicted to the climb. Because every time he goes up there, he sees something new. He gets a golden goose. He gets a harp. I don't know what else he gets up there, but it's a pretty good gig. Like, he's got a good thing going on. The only thing is there's a giant up there that kind of cucks him from, that he's got to be wary of. Fee, fi, fo, fum, little Jackie boy. Always these giants guarding the perspective. These giants. The giant media. The giant. Giants everywhere, man. Just think about them. Fee, fi, fo, fum. Who do you think you are trying to escape your little rat cage? Fee, fi, fo, fum. Dude, no, this is the beanstalk. We gotta climb it. Fuck. Yeah, these giants, dude. Put them to rest. Slay them. You gotta beat them. Because you got to ascend. You got to see what matters. We're going to get into it. Because I don't like to just talk about stories and philosophy without getting into cold, hard, actionable steps. All right? So you got to get there. You got to bring it home. But we'll get there. But it's fun. It's fun to consider all of the myth and the stories. Too many men also. The reason I do this is because it's fun. It's fun. It's funny as hell. Like, it's entertaining to me. Part of the hero's journey is the full cycle of like, okay, I'm in shit. Shit is hitting the fan. There's a beanstalk in front of me, and there's a big giant about to take a poo-poo on my head, but I gotta keep climbing. And so you start climbing, and a lot of people I notice when they climb the hero's monomyth, the hero's circle, the cycle, what happens is like they almost become gatekeepers. They become giants themselves. They become bitter. They become resentful. They get tired. A lot of people get tired, and they lose that childlike spirit that they had. So I believe that the full cycle of the hero's journey is you start out where you're in shit. You almost have to move away from the child, but somewhere along the middle, when you gain confidence and success, you don't just put more stress on yourself and lose the child. You actually go back, you rescue the child, and you come full circle. You finish the journey, and you now have the wisdom of the elder, but also the happiness and the joy of the youth and the child. You never lost it. You rescued him when he was about to drown, right? So you sort of manage it. You become more than just this cyborg, this heartless, cold flesh casket. So, what an amazing story. The Golden Goose. Jack and the Giant Beanstalk. You know, it says in the Bible too. Here's another thing talking about ascension and perspective. Man, Adam and Eve. I have said this story multiple times. I'm not going to repeat it here, but I love it. It's one of the best. I think it's the beginning. In the beginning. First off, Adam is a complete simp. How dare he give up his promise to God for Eve? You know, she said, baby, you ain't getting none of this puss. You ain't gonna get none of this pussy unless you eat some of this apple. And he did it. And he did it. Somehow he did it. He simped. The very first man simped. He accommodated to the woman. There were the only two humans. And he had God and he had woman. Woman somehow took his eyes off of God, put it on her, and made him destroy his life. Son of a bitch. But all he said to Adam, he was like, don't eat from the tree, dude. Just don't eat from the tree. That's all you got to do. You can have everything. You can name all the animals. You can be in paradise here in Eden. You can run around naked with your little dog hanging out. You can do whatever you want. You have your little wife, your kids, have babies, be fruitful and multiply. Have fun. You're perfect. You created perfect. Just don't eat from this tree. That's all I ask you. And it's not like he knew right from wrong. It was just a command. Don't eat from the tree. Simple. Okay. But that's God saying that, so I will listen. But Eve, you know, that was the introduction. That was the command. The snake was the aggressor. The snake was a new perspective. The snake was the first time temptation creeped in. Slithering little snake. Said Eve. Eve, why don't you come and eat this apple? You'll see everything. This is the tree of knowledge and good and evil. Why don't you come eat this apple? She eats it. She sees everything. Adam eats it. He sees everything. They gained consciousness. The first thing they realize is that I'm naked. I gotta cover up. Holy shit. They imagine gaining consciousness from being unconscious. Imagine being unconscious. You just walk around, dude. You just walk around with your butt hanging out. You just say whatever, do whatever. You're in La La Land. And now you're just completely just forced into this pure, raw consciousness. And you're naked. You got to cover up. And you got to realize that you just fucked up big time. You just disobeyed your creator. I mean, that has got to be an awakening. That has got to shake you to your bones. And so, you know, that's all I'm saying is this perspective that these people gained, Adam and Eve, that story represents. Holy shit, man. Like this perspective they gained that made them conscious of what they have to do. That's why things are hard, because we're so conscious. We're so conscious. We gotta work. We're so conscious. There's all this stress. There's all these deaths. There's all this bullshit we gotta worry about. We're so conscious of everything. The best way to go about it is to almost try not to try. You know, you're trying without trying. The Wu Wei, as the Chinese philosophy, the Wu Wei. Embrace the Wu Wei. Try without trying. Let life happen to you in a way. You know, it's a hard thing. It's easy to talk about. It's hard to live. And I'm not completely convinced that is 100%, but I do believe that you probably err on the side. You can probably err on the side of letting go a bit, because when you try to micromanage everything, too many emotions kick in, which throw you off. Too much of you thinking that you actually have control when you really don't. Whereas faith, you have to believe that it's going to work out, and then you can get to working that thing out when you have faith. And you have to gain perspective. You have to gain perspective. So let's get into it. You know, what are some things? Again, I would like to hear yours down below. I think to gain perspective, first off, you can gain a lot of perspective just by being healthy. If you're a fat ass and then you gain like muscle and you lose weight, your whole perspective shifts because you realize, okay, people treat me different. Another advantage point is reading books. And there's more books than just the 48 Laws of Power that gets memed. There's more books than Napoleon Hill's How to Win Friends, or Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Dale Carnegie's, Napoleon Hill's, what is it? Think and Grow Rich. There's more books in that, dude. There's more books than The Alchemist, which kind of blows. It's not even a great fantasy book. There's way better fictional tales. There's better stories. There's better vantage points to gain than just some author telling you, hey man, think positive, right? You don't always need self-improvement. You need to hear the thoughts of other authors or learn stuff through these books to gain a new reference point, because a lot of the shit that you're consuming, dude, is brain rot. It really is. And it's meant to kind of dilate you in to a state of fear and uncertainty. And to never develop your personality, never reach Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which again, what is it? Ascension to a point. Once you have those two sort of things figured out, those shelter, food, relationship, what's next? Self-actualization, the pinnacle. But you have to stand upon that precipice and look out and see things differently. You can't do that when you're worried about the bare necessities and when you're constantly consuming the dregs of society and the filth. You know, something that you have to go through filth in order to find your roots must reach down to hell if you're going to go to heaven, but you don't stay there. You're right. You have to gain new vantage points. And so you have to read. Get in the habit of using humor. That's what I would say. That's what I try to do myself. Dude, I got a lot of reasons I could be depressed. Okay? I got the things that bring you out of that is faith and humor. All right? You got to use humor. You should embrace humor. See the humor in things. See the humor in being a hard, rigid man. What's the point? See the humor when people make fun of you. You don't got to be perfect. See the humor when people are losing their shit. When everyone around you hates you, when everyone around is, thinks you're the dude, just see the humor. When everyone's losing their mind, see the humor in it. Blessed is the mind too small for doubt, Stop thinking. That's a Warhammer quote, by the way. And I kind of want to read the Horus Heresy books. The first one by, what is his name? Dan Abbott? Horus Heresy. But blessed is the mind too small for doubt. Blessed is the mind. Holy shit, imagine that. Not doubting yourself at every freaking turn. Going out there and figuring shit out, dude. Damn, I had this idea, but it's a bit late into the video. Maybe I'll do it anyway. Maybe I'll make another video about this. I was thinking that the society and the environment you're in has such a profound consequences on how you perceive life, the perspective. Go outside your house if you're in America. Go down the street. You see the Walmart. You see all the square, cold, rigid buildings. I don't know why Walmart doesn't have many windows. Probably because they break, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter. Now, compare that to like the flea market. The open air flea market, the artesian market, the artisan, however you say it. The places in Europe, places in India where there's open food market, you're buying food, the farmer's market. Compare that to the coldness of going for items that are imprisoned within cold, hard walls. Cold, hard, rigid walls. Just imprisoning your goods. You got to enter this prison for your little iPhone, for your food, for your clothes. Just a prison within a prison is a mall, you know? Like, what does that do to the spirit? Now, I'm not talking about just architecture. I'm talking about the way things are set up to limit your vantage point. And this is just in the marketplace. But, dude, I mean, think about how you perceive life as a young man. Well, if you want to start a business and that's all you see, does your business now have to be within four walls and a roof? My father owned his own business, and most of that business was like going to a flea market and going to garage sales and going to storage units, talking with a bunch of dudes, opening that shit up and just selling. And then he did have a store for a while, but he lost it. But most of it was open air. It wasn't confined to four walls and a roof. And it was just very interesting to me to think about this, is like how much of your environment impacts your perception, how much of what we see in this sort of society that is set up with all of these stores. We don't have the open markets. No one goes to a flea market anymore. Like, we don't even know the possibilities. So you have to almost, I don't know if travel is the way to gain a new vantage point, because I haven't traveled that much. I also think that traveling for a lot of people is a massive cope, and I think they just go there to eat food and like do nothing. But you know, I do believe there's some benefit to seeing different cultures, seeing the way other people live their lives, and how blessed we are here in you know, in well-to-do societies. Cold hard walls, man. That's just one thing that I thought of. So really, it's like that is not the only way. There's many other ways to go about a business. There's many other ways than just, but you have to gain new perspective. Like Nietzsche and Zarathustra. Like, you have to climb that mountain. You have to speak to the oracle. You have to gain something. I don't know how you always do that, dude, but I know that they don't care if you do that. And the way that things are set up is to keep you in a state of dread and reliance on either the government or on something else, on a product, to keep consuming to find your happiness, to keep consuming to find your purpose, to isolate you, to keep you alone so that you continue to be unhappy, to not have, you know, thought out, deep, confrontational, even at times, conversations, and to, you know, maybe bump heads, but just to really like seek that which does not matter. Buying things that you don't really care about just for a status symbol, consuming more that puts you in more debt, which gives you more problems that are illusory, that are, you know, not even real. But now you have to maintain this image that you've set up for yourself. And so if you're not careful and you don't gain that vantage point, what's the point of life? Because you will be in prison and you will be a slave. And you will feel a longing in your heart. You will feel longing in your heart. You'll turn from God. Because God has a purpose for you, man. God has a purpose for your life. And all you got to do is ask him, your will be done in my life, God. Your will be done in my life. And then you seek. And you continue to seek. And you find. And the path will be made clear. So, brothers, go now in peace. I wish you high thumos. We have a massive challenge in our group starting, the end of the year challenge. Hope to talk to you, and be blessed, man. Wish you nothing but the best. Take care. Peace.